So you're putting in the work, right? You're grinding, making what feels like awesome content, but nothing. The growth is flat. It feels like you're stuck. Well, there's a hidden reason for that. And in this explainer, we're going to dig in and find out exactly what it is. Okay, so let's just cut straight to the chase. Why does it feel like your videos are just invisible? You hit that publish button, cross your fingers, and crickets. It is seriously one of the most frustrating feelings for any creator out there. But here's the thing, and I really, really want you to hear this. The problem? It's not your talent. And it's definitely not your fancy camera or your microphone. The single biggest reason your growth has hit a wall is clarity. Or rather, a lack of it. And today, we're going to fix that. All right, first things first. We have to tear down some of the myths that are literally killing channels. Seriously, a lot of the good advice you've been hearing is probably the very thing holding you back. This right here, this is the massive disconnect between what you think you made and what your actual audience sees. On your end, you see all the hours of research, the slick editing, the value you packed in. But the audience? All they see is a boring intro and they're left wondering, what's in it for me? Why should I watch this? In their world, your masterpiece of good content is just unwatchable. And that leads us right into something called the 10-second rule. This is so important. See, you don't have 5 minutes to win somebody over. You don't even have 60 seconds. You've got about 10 seconds, tops, to prove that your video is worth their time. If you can't do that, they're gone. Click next video. Okay, another huge myth, and it's a big one, is this trap of quantity consistency. You know the advice, just upload every single day and the algorithm will love you. Nope, that's a trap. Pumping out a bunch of low-impact videos doesn't help you. It just burns you out, and worse, it actually teaches the algorithm that your content isn't very engaging. So, if it's not about quantity, what does the algorithm actually care about? Well, it's pretty much these 3 things. First, CTR, your click-through rate. In plain English, do people even click on your video when they see it? Second, AVD, average view duration. How long are they sticking around to watch? And third, session time. Does your video make them want to stay on the platform and watch more stuff? You got to remember, impact will always beat frequency. Okay, so we've busted the myths that are holding you back. Now let's talk about what actually works. We're going to break down the 2 absolute pillars that drive real sustainable growth. I like to call them the king and the fuel. This quote just nails it. It perfectly explains the power dynamic here. Think about it. Your content, the video itself, is super important, right? It's like the minister. It does all the work. But if nobody ever sees it, does its quality even matter? Nope. That's where clickability comes in, your title and your thumbnail. That's the king. It rules over everything because it's the gatekeeper. It decides who even gets to see the minister. Just look at that number for a second. 70%. Up to 70% of your channel's growth is decided before a single person watches even 1 second of your video. Let that sink in. This means that your packaging, your title, and your thumbnail is probably the single most important skill you could possibly work on. It's not an afterthought, it's the main event. Okay, so clickability is the king. It gets people in the door, but what makes them stay? What keeps them from walking right back out? That's retention. And retention, that's the real fuel for your growth engine. When people watch for a long time, it sends a massive signal to the algorithm that says, hey, this is good stuff, show it to more people. And that's how you grow. And here's the best part. Retention isn't some magic thing you just hope for. You can actually engineer it. It's a skill, not luck. It's a system. We're talking about things like crafting super fast hooks to grab attention, using pattern interrupts to jolt the viewer and reset their focus, varying your pace to keep things interesting, building up tension and curiosity, and really mastering the flow of information so they're always leaning in wanting to know what's next. Now, all these tactics are great, they're super powerful, but honestly, they won't work if you don't make the single most important psychological shift a creator can make. It's all about changing your entire perspective from being creator first to being viewer first. Here it is, the core concept. You are not the hero of this story. Your viewer is. They are the main character. Your content, it's just a tool in their journey. It exists only to serve their needs, to solve a problem they have, or to help them get something they want. Every single decision you make has to be filtered through that lens. And just look at the difference here. It's night and day.
The failed creator first mindset is all about me, my journey, my struggle, what I feel like making. But the successful viewer first mindset, it's constantly asking questions about them. What's the value for them? How does this actually help them? Why on earth should they care about this?
And look, this can be a tough pill to swallow, but it's also incredibly freeing once you get it. Here's the harsh truth. The audience doesn't care about your struggle. They don't care how hard you worked on a video. They only care about one thing, the value you are providing for them right here, right now.
Okay, so let's wrap all of this up into a practical, actionable blueprint. This is the system that separates the amateurs from the pros. It's a really simple cycle: execute, analyze, and then repeat. So many of us get stuck right here in the trap of over planning. You know what I mean? Endless notebooks full of ideas, but you're constantly delaying, waiting for the perfect moment. It just creates friction and kills all your momentum. The real power is in execution. It's about taking imperfect action, getting the video out there, and then learning from the real world data to iterate and make the next one even better.
So, this is your creator mindset reboot. It's time to start thinking like a data analyst. You need to embrace experimentation. See every video as a test, not some final, terrifying exam. You've got to reduce that fear of failure, focus on continuous improvement, and maybe most importantly, take radical accountability for your own results.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one final question to think about. Forget the endless planning. Forget waiting for everything to be perfect. Based on everything we've talked about, what is the one thing you are going to stop planning and start doing today?